It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America, we are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Good morning. Here we are on a Monday. Yeah. Comedian Jay Leno called the assassination of Trump Turning Point founder Charlie Kirk, the death of free speech during an interview Wednesday denouncing the fatal shooting. It's not a random thing. I mean, it's the death of free speech. To think that you are so illiterate and so stupid that you can't answer verbally and you have to shoot somebody with a gun to win an argument is just ridiculous. He said, when I was in school, lively debate was unbelievable. To have the SDS, the Students for a Democratic Society, oh my gosh, now we're really way going back.
Yeah.
Debate somebody else, Leno continued. I can remember when James Baldwin debated William Buckley at Oxford. It was just fascinating. This is a political assassination of a man who I didn't necessarily agree with, but I certainly enjoyed listening to because, I didn't know that. Oh, okay, I don't have to agree with you on everything, but I learned something new. I mean, we're at the point in this country where if you don't agree with everybody on everything, you take out a gun and you shoot them, especially on a college campus. You know the thing about Leno, though? He always goes around the edges without fully explaining things to you.
I think that's part of what he did for years, the job that he did for years, without ever being able to come out and say, because he did say, I don't know, over the last year and a half, that he is a Democrat. He is.
Yeah, I know.
On the left.
Yeah, he doesn't like Trump.
We assume,
right? You
and I always assumed that, mainly because conservatives really don't feel the need to hide that. Although you and I do know a couple of people in Hollywood that felt that they did for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also, how the censors on the writing at the Tonight Show would work. But here's the thing, too. He did say, I don't know when this was, on somebody's podcast, maybe Howie Mandel's podcast, or somewhere on somebody's podcast, he was talking about, look, you don't need to come out. You've got an audience. Just try the broad appeal in order to get the broad laughter, basically. I'm paraphrasing here. He didn't use these words exactly. But you don't need to come out and take a stance on one side or the other. When it comes to politics, you can make fun of any of them. Of course, we remember that 2 years you couldn't make fun of Obama. No Obama jokes. Remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But
there's nothing funny about him because he is serious and trying to save the world.
Yeah, it's like, get over it. But it's, and so I think that was his approach in comedy. Leave it to where it's, because he probably, again, isn't going to, if you're not in this every single day or naturally inclined to espouse your views, you're probably not going to be able to explain it in a one-liner,
Mm-hmm.
And so his best approach was to, do the stand-up and do it to where it's ambiguous. Politically ambiguous, that's fine. That's okay.
It was funny because maybe I was extra sensitive to that because I had seen over the weekend just a couple of minutes because I just went, I might go back and watch more of it, but I was like, oh, just stop it. And it was the Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins, his podcast, and he had Devo on. He had the Mother Smith guy on, and then two of the other ones.
Okay.
Two of the other Devos.
Yeah. Devo 2, Devo 3.
And they're getting into, the whole de-evolution thing. He goes, that was big in the 60s, because society we thought was de-evolving.
Right.
And Same thing here. It applies here today, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, to plays more today, more, but never got to why it applies for today. It's like, are you talking about Trump? What's the point that you're trying to bring up?
Yeah, make a point.
And then I'm getting to the point of, I'm like, come on, because I've liked his podcast. I like a lot of the stuff he does.
Billy Corgan, yeah.
Yeah, Billy Corgan.
Yeah.
But I was like,
he seems to be thoughtful in his approach on it otherwise,
but
when it comes to music.
But don't get arrogant as to the importance and the Nostradamus predictions of Devo.
Yeah. It's there wasn't a Devo movement politically ever. And there wasn't a Smashing Pumpkins political movement ever. If anyone can come close to making that claim, maybe, because a lot of drugs were involved, Bob Dylan, maybe.
Yes.
Because of his era.
Yes.
Now, you tell me what he was singing, because I can't understand it, but that's not the point. Make America great again. But it's not, if Bob Dylan were on the right. But it's not, I don't know that anybody ever, I don't think most people took anything that seriously to that movement, right? Or to any driven purpose from a music artist. I'm not saying
especially
there weren't moments,
especially Devo,
along the way.
Come on, let's admit.
Yeah.
It was the choreography. I mean, do you ever see when they did the first time they were on SNL?
Yeah.
And did Satisfaction?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there isn't anybody that saw that and didn't go, what the blank was that?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, this is where music is going on.
It's like, what in the
I'm
world?
going to stop listening to
But it
music
was,
altogether.
but it was, the choreography was great, though.
Yeah.
I thought it was, you didn't like it.
Well,
I thought the choreography was great.
I was never a fan. But then again, there were plenty of genres or bands that I just didn't. It was it looked silly.
Neither was I. I just thought the choreography was good.
Yeah.
When I saw it, I don't think I ever bought I never bought a Devo record or anything like that.
Right.
But,
yeah. I'm not sure that I know anybody who did, but those clearly they.
A buddy of mine who I trust saw them in concert and said they were great.
I will say this.
They were great in concert.
I had a buddy. My friend, actually, who I went to see Rush with one time, Del Rio buddy who's since passed, who loved Diva. But that buddy also drove a Volkswagen Thing. We had to take his mom's car to the concert in San Antonio, which is a station wagon, because we didn't trust taking the Volkswagen Thing all the way from Del Rio to San Antonio. But he loved Devo. He liked the new age stuff. And it turned out, I didn't know this. I learned this after he passed. He went into radio. He was in Armed Forces Radio. And a family member told me this, and I'm like, are you kidding me? We both ended up in radio, and we didn't keep contact after with him. I didn't keep contact after I moved from Del Rio, but he was a huge Devo fan.
All right, so I had to tell you this, that this reminded me of you yesterday. It just popped into my head because of our conversation. I had to go to my phone while you were talking to look it up. Mm-hmm. My old producer from KXL, our great affiliate in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
He's no longer there, but he's an Oregon Ducks fan.
Okay.
The Ducks played Northwestern.
Yeah, okay.
In Evanston, Illinois. So he went there.
Yeah.
So he went to see the game. So he writes to me yesterday. He writes, we're now at a Top Chef restaurant in Evanston. Okay. And I just wrote back. I said, cool, enjoy. And he said, wow. And Eddie G.D. Vedder just walked in. We'll try and figure out the picture situation. So, okay. And he says, he's wearing a backwards Blackhawks hat.
Okay.
And I went, backwards in 2025?
Yeah.
And I went,
as an adult.
And right. And I said, in a fancy restaurant, Eddie? I thought he rejected nice things. Oh, wait, grunge is dead. Never mind.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
I thought of you the whole
Eating
time.
at a high-end restaurant.
Because remember...
For the people. He's
Now-
doing it for the people.
Now, didn't he live on the streets? Didn't he do that? Or was
Well,
his-
what he said was, I think it was their second album. He said after the success of their first album or their second album, whatever it was, for the next album, he decided to go live in his truck. Yeah, but dude, you got $20 million in the bank. What are you doing? He needed to remain. He wanted that inspiration. He wanted living in his truck to be a muse.
You know, the best...
I lived in a 75 Dodge Dart. It was not a muse for anything except for to get an apartment.
The best thing was, it was really about 10 years after Nirvana was dead when Grohl came out and goes, everybody called us grunge. We weren't grunge. We
Right.
never thought of ourselves as grunge. We were just making
hard
music.
rock. Yeah.
Just making,
Right.
That was never the reason that we did it. Even though, remember, Kurt Cobain had that problem. They didn't know how to deal with success.
Yeah.
I'm
no, we
telling
see
you.
that. It's from that genre. We've seen a couple stories like that. I don't know how to. I think we've seen it in other places. You can see that young people have mishandled success, especially all of a sudden, boom, being wealthy.
Oh yeah.
Almost instantly,
Right.
and I certainly grasp a better understanding of that now. Not that I, was in that place, but we hear more stories as to why that happens. But I just thought to myself, but you were an artist creating something. You clearly were a critical thinker to a certain extent. Could you apply those things? I mean, like Duff McKagan, the bass player for Guns N' Roses. He said, look, I had to quit drinking, doing drugs, doing everything I was doing and manage my money. And then all of a sudden people started asking him how to manage their money.
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote books and the whole thing. And the guy's very smart, and I'm sure a lot of people go through that, but it's kind of foreign to me, because I looked at it not for the money. I looked at the tremendous amount of money I made early on in radio,
No, but I always looked at it this way, that you went in there, you made a lot of money, but you wanted to do what you were wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so finally you get there and you decide to live a lifestyle where you completely lose control
Right.
of what you want to do. And
Right.
the original reason that you went in and fought so hard was to do exactly what you wanted to do.
Right,
And then you
yeah.
just give it up.
Exactly.
I never, that to me, I never understood.
Right.
I never had a fear of success because my fear of failure dominated any type of fear of success.
Right. Right.
Fear of failure.
And I never had a desire for like over the top things for the same reason. It's like, old Eric is going to have to eat. And I'm learning that more and more every day. And,
well, unless you wanted to be dead at 30 and leave a good-looking corpse.
Right.
I mean, but remember, who was it? It wasn't Alice Cooper was talking to somebody, and they were talking about that. It was like, yeah, we were like
for those young rock stars, they weren't thinking about.
Well, they actually
retirement.
thought they weren't thinking of retirement. They were like,
Right.
I don't care.
I don't think I'm going to live that long.
I'm not going to live
That's what
that
they would
long. And it's
say,
just
yeah.
like, well, why not? Why can't I? And so now Alice Cooper's in
Right.
his mid-70s,
Right.
still doing his act.
Better than ever.
And it's like fans afterwards, Alice. Yes. What would you like to ask me? Would you use your 9-iron from 150 out
Can you help
or
me with my
130?
golf game? I'm stuck in my golf game.
What's you got that claw technique for your putter there, Alice.
But also, it's his strong beliefs too.
Oh yeah.
His he born again.
Yeah.
Also, I read recently he's teaching Bible study.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I want to take that class for all the reasons. For all the reasons. For all the reasons. For all the reasons. But I think of Charles Barkley when he said, look, I went out and bought a bunch of cars and the whole thing. Then I realized, wait a minute, I only need 1 or 2 cars. So he was kind of basically saying to young people that were coming into the NBA, these up and coming stars in the NBA, look, hold on to that money. You're not going to be able to play forever. Hold on to that money, invest it wisely, the whole thing. Kevin Hart, the comedian, did that. He said, look, half of everything you make, half of everything you bring home goes to savings. Don't ever touch it again. Go to savings. And, and he's, that mentality, I think, helps to, again, maybe help that person rediscover as to what they're doing and why they're actually doing it.
And then you see Alice Cooper's band and you go, wow.
Yeah.
What a bunch of losers. And every one of them is like the smartest person you ever want to meet.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, come on, Gary. I used to hang out at the CBGBs of Buffalo, New York, the Continental. Do not judge somebody by their looks.
Yeah, exactly.
His guitarist, Nita Strauss, can play, can't she?
Oh, my gosh.
What a great guitar player she is.
Yeah, very bright-minded.
I've seen her solo band.
Brilliant musician.
Sober for like a decade now.
Yeah, she's very, very good.
86690 Red Eye.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by House Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
Surprises in USDA September crop production report? The first with objective yield surveys for the year? At least confirmation for this year's corn crop. It's record-setting. Forecast have production up less than 1% from August, adding to a projected record crop now at 16.8 billion bushels. Even with the corn yield forecast lowered by 2.1 bushels per acre month over month, the 186.7 billion bushels per acre in September would still be record high. For other crops, forecasted soybean production this month was raised by 1%, still down year over year. However, yields are still projected to be record-setting. The latest cotton production and all harvested area forecast comes in slightly up from August, but down from the previous year. Cotton yields, meanwhile, were lowered both month over month and year over year. I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
Lines open for your calls. 866-90 Red Eye on Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. All right, I saw this on X. I don't even know who the person is.
Okay.
I saw this on X. This person wrote this, and I just went, oh, okay, this hits big. And this is all the, the Hitler stuff and all the insults being, thrown at the late Charlie Kirk that are untrue. But he writes, remember reading about how Hitler would visit college campuses just to have conversations with young people? Hitler would tell them things like, get married and have kids, and become the best version of yourself. Then he'd let them say whatever they wanted and politely debate them.
Oh, that's who Hitler was, right? Yeah. Yeah, this is why the left loses when they use the over-the-top rhetoric. This is people, they think you're stupid. Now, they get enough people to help them repeat what they're saying, but more and more people look at this and go, come on, let's stop.
Well, there's been a pattern of the over-the-top rhetoric over the last – there's a reason the Democratic Party only has less than 20% favorability. It's because they've done the same thing over and over again, use the memes, use the slogans. Now people have the ability through social media, which is why over the weekend, social media is the problem. No, it's not.
No.
Guns are the problem. Social media is the problem. No. People are the problem.
Yeah.
Watch all 5 hours of the show live every night on the Red Eye Radio app. Available in the App Store. Red Eye Radio.
We are Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome and good morning. A source familiar with the investigation into Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk's assassination told Fox News Digital that the FBI is investigating leftist groups in Utah to see if they had any connection to the alleged shooter. You know, we haven't heard, we will, but we haven't heard, for example, where he got the rifle.
Yeah.
A lot of different things we haven't been told. We heard that his roommate, who was transitioning trans female. Right. Is cooperating, and family members of the roommate say he hated conservatives.
Right.
The source told Fox News Digital that the FBI is investigating the leftist groups to see if they knew about the alleged shooter's plans beforehand or provided any assistance to them. The source did not elaborate on which groups are being investigated. Axios first reported that development. Robinson's father turned him into the authorities after he recognized his son in surveillance videos that the FBI released. A law enforcement source earlier told Fox News Digital. So, in other news, a public school teacher has been suspended after allegedly showing a video of Charlie Kirk's assassination to students as young as 10 years old in his class, authorities in Canada have said. The teacher also suggested to the children that Kirk deserved to be killed and gave the young students a speech about anti-fascism and transgender issues, according to a report. By the way, anti-fascism is fascism.
Right.
Just so people know the changing in definition. By the way, that happened a few years ago. Several students from his class went home and complained to their parents, traumatized at witnessing the on-camera death, which they say they were forced to witness numerous times over, a source told the Toronto Sun after the shocking incident at the school in Toronto on Thursday. Wow. Parents reached out to school administrators who will be putting him on leave at the start of the school day, September 12, 2025. The source added, while playing this video repeatedly, he gave a speech to the students regarding anti-trans and how Charlie Kirk deserved for this to occur. A letter was sent home on Friday to all students affected by the showing of the video, calling the teacher's behavior extremely troubling and completely disturbing. During class, students were said to have been shown a portion of a violent video in response to questions being asked about a recent tragic event in the United States. The principal sent. The later stated that the video was allegedly shown to students in grade 5 and 6, typically aged 10 to 11, by a staff member who was supervising a French immersion class.
Wow.
While an investigation still must be conducted to learn all the details, the report of this incident is extremely troubling. We recognize the seriousness of this matter and have taken immediate steps to follow all appropriate procedures and policies. The teacher has been relieved of all teaching responsibilities pending the outcome of the investigation and will not be at the school. The letter continued. Assistance is being offered to any children traumatized by the incident. Yeah, but what would the counselors say?
Well, you have to question, in fact, anybody and everybody at that point. While this particular incident falls squarely on that teacher, what in the world's going on at that school?
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because, you know, you and I talk a lot about the difference between urban areas and rural areas in Canada. You know, Alberta's a completely different animal than Toronto.
Yeah. Sure.
Complete, as we all would refer them as the Texas of Canada.
Right. Yeah.
They probably refer to Texas as the Alberta of Canada.
Yeah.
And I know because I have, distant relatives now. I don't think that, most of the relatives I had, my grandfather and my father and my uncles and my aunts knew, and so most of them are dead. But in the conversations, even with their kids, I think the last reunion was like 15 years ago. I wasn't able to make it, but I had met some of the younger ones at a reunion about 25, 30 years ago, and all very, very conservative.
Yeah.
And they lived outside. They lived more in the Halliburton Highlands, which is probably north of Toronto. I'm guessing, if memory serves me right, 70, 80 miles. And you get outside Toronto that far, and it's
Yeah.
outside the urban areas, it gets quite rural in Canada. But you think about, all the things. I don't know whether it's true. Somebody said there's a database somebody's put together where there's been 58,000 people that have publicly come out and supported it, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I don't know whether that's true or not, or where that database is, or whether the database is accurate. I'm still surprised at the number of people that have posted it publicly and then been just inconsolable because they lost their jobs.
Right. Don't understand why they lost their job.
You're promoting murder.
Once you're that indoctrinated and you're looking around going, wait a minute. Wait, I thought what I said was heroic. I thought this is what we're supposed to do.
No, we talked about that earlier, but you had said that but hearing it even a second time, like, my God, it's to them it was virtue signaling. We're correct in doing this. This is we've talked about this. You've called them Nazis. You said they're going to enslave us. Remember, who was it? Was it Joy Behar? Who on The View said they're going to enslave blacks? Remember? No. Was it that or gays are going to disappear? That was it.
Yeah.
Gays are going to disappear.
Yeah.
Where the hell did that come from? You're making stuff up.
Well, but they have to. And it's part of the indoctrination. Indoctrination is built on lies.
And finally, Governor Kathy Hochul has endorsed Mamdani for mayor in a bombshell Sunday guest essay.
I'm shocked.
After her camp tried to keep the candidate at arm's length, at triple arm's length, through the campaign. The question of who will be our next mayor is one I take extremely seriously and to which I have devoted a great deal of thought, Hochul wrote in a New York Times opinion piece published Sunday night. While calling Trump Hitler and Charlie Kirk a white supremacist and Nazi and everything else, Governor Kathy Hochul will endorse Mamdani, the avowed socialist communist, and as we know, communism probably responsible for more genocides of what? Hundreds of millions of people.
Yeah.
Communism has been responsible over the last 100 years for killing more people than any other ideology. Just very ironic when you look at it.
Yeah. It's, again, something that you and I have talked about is, especially after elections like the one in 24, don't believe for a moment that the other side is done.
No.
And that's why every single day the discussions have to be had, the debates have to be had. The information has to keep flowing over and over again. I guess the bright side would be is that in 24, and I think still now, we are seeing more and more people wake up. I can't tell you how many that is. I can't quantify that. but I am hopeful. I pray that in the wake of the horrible assassination of Charlie Kirk, more and more young people understand how important it is to have the debate. Where they go from there, I can't tell you. But that would be a good start. A world where the debates, friendly debates, sometimes passionate, yes, but debates can be had, and I think young people would welcome that over and over again. I think it would blossom into something truly great as long as it's based on and remains based on the truth.
Well, they were. You had
what
a growing,
Charlie was doing.
Yeah, exactly. You had a growing number that looked at what Charlie Kirk was doing, and they liked it. And as we had said earlier, because we have, we're the old fogies. It's tough for me to say that. But you and I were always asking probably 15 years ago, who are the young people coming in? Who are the young conservatives? And we didn't know if they were going to show up. And then you had Ben Shapiro come on scene. He really impressed us. And then watching what Charlie Kirk did at campuses, and you had to be young to do it.
It had to be someone in that group. It had to be one of their peers.
It's almost as if, go back to the 60s, don't trust anybody over the age of 30, which was the slogan back then. You just don't. You don't trust anybody over the age of 30. Yeah. I remember hearing that as a kid. I went, really? You can't? Can I trust my parents? Because I wondered where that came from.
Right.
And it was like, no, they're part of the establishment. They've been the idea was they've been brainwashed already.
Right, yeah.
Well, you had Charlie Kirk out there doing it at 20 years old. He was their age. And they're like, who is this guy? And it was a happening. You saw it the other day before he was assassinated. He's throwing out hats and everybody's laughing, and it was wonderful. Yeah. Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
You can't take that away. You may not be able to convert the brainwashed. Maybe sometimes you can a little bit. We've seen it with Lindy Lee. And by the way, there's got to be some brainwashing in there because eventually she knew for a while because she didn't change overnight.
No.
Because that's the one thing you and I question with Lindy Lee. She couldn't have changed overnight. We saw the evolution of Michael Rappaport actually on social media.
Yeah.
You and I followed that.
Yep.
He was just a crazy liberal going nuts. And then he completely reversed it, and he explained in specific detail why. And that's the thing about Rappaport now. When he explains something, it's in detail. It's not just in slogans.
Right.
Because I did this because of this, and then I didn't like this because of this, and this. And that's what you find out. When somebody starts making that transformation, saying, I reject liberalism now because of the lies, because I was lied to and I feel betrayed, because I feel used. They were using me and lying to me, and I want to find an ideology that promotes freedom, liberty, and truth.
Right. And when you see that, when they're not afraid to tell you why they think what they think, it's a good time to listen.
Yeah.
And when they're spewing hate and calling people names, you understand where it's coming from. It's not hard to figure out.
They can't win the argument with any reasonable person who considers themselves a moderate on Charlie Kirk. They're not going to convince him once they see the truth that he was anything but somebody who wanted open debate and have fun debating the issues of the United States of America and understanding, as some of the left now are coming around. More Democrats are coming around. Not all, not enough, but more. And that's what you do. You win it day by day, week by week, year by year. As you and I said, do not stop. We've criticized the Republican Party at times for coming out and saying, okay, let's fight this. Okay, we won. No, you don't win the one argument. You win argument after argument after argument after argument after argument. Yep. 866-90 Red Eye.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. We are Red Eye Radio. Well, the Fed this week, right?
The Fed on Wednesday will learn Wednesday afternoon Jerome Powell's decision on interest rates. Of course, Trump's reaction to that, the market's reaction to that, and what that means going forward for the economy.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.